I've spoken a couple times previously about the care home scandal, and this has been covered by other YouTubers, most recently Jamie Deluxe, although others have, Vernon Coleman talked about it, the UK version of this scandal, and many others have referenced it. Of course, this seems to be an event or a phenomenon that has taken place in several municipalities, but around these parts it seems to get the most attention because it perhaps happened most dramatically, and the greatest numbers of fatalities took place in the New York City area under the order of the governor of New York. Now, I've kind of said this before, I've kind of alluded to it before, but I want to just put it here in stark black and white. There are two ways of looking at the care home scandal, and what the care home scandal involves is essentially the fact that numerous elderly people who had been diagnosed with positively with the virus were sent to elderly care homes where the population, those who live in these care homes are just, as one can expect, they are old, they're frail, they are susceptible, and this is not a virus that tends to kill people in their youth, people in good health, but people who have underlying symptoms, people who are or underlying comorbidities, or who are sick and frail, such as care home inhabitants would tend to be. This can be construed as one of two things. This could be seen as a huge breach of negligence, a huge breach of common sense. It could be said that somehow the officials, the authorities who made these decisions to send these people who were sick with this virus, that again, no matter what we've been told, no matter the kind of scare tactics that they've used upon us over and over and over again, this is not a fatal illness, generally speaking, most of the time, for people who are healthy. But if you're elderly and already sick with some other conditions and already in a frail condition, generally speaking, then this is something that could indeed prove to be fatal, and does. So it could be said again that all of this just happened because the officials just didn't put two and two together. They didn't see the catastrophe that was going to take place after this was done. They just became retarded for a day and made this decision that anyone can see. Anyone with any, you don't even have to have an enormous IQ to understand the inadvisability of this choice. All right, but that's one option. The first option is this was just done out of negligence, bureaucratic negligence. The second option, which I have to admit I find makes more sense, is that this order was undertaken and given and followed through on in these various municipalities on purpose. That is to say, they knew. They must have known. How could they not have known that sending these people into these care homes was going to end up killing a bunch of these people living in these care homes. And they did it precisely because they wanted to kill a bunch of people in care homes. That is to say, population reduction. I know this sounds to some of you like a crazy conspiracy theory, but ask yourself, is it more likely that they just didn't know, that somehow they just had this kind of disconnect in their brains? These people who are supposedly, adept intellectually, and who know a thing or two about epidemiology, and who know a thing or two about vulnerable populations, and who know a thing or two about introducing a certain virus into a vulnerable population. Is it more possible that they didn't? That they just didn't know what they were doing? They didn't know what they were dealing with? I just can't go with that theory. And if you have to, if that theory ceases to make sense, if that theory doesn't hold water, then you have to put it aside and go with the one that seems to make more sense. Which is that they did it on purpose. Because they want to take out the useless eaters. I mean, this is eugenics 101. Get rid of the people who are just taking up space, taking up resources, who aren't doing anything productive for society, right? Take them out. And this is the perfect opportunity to do it. And so they did it. Right? I know how that sounds to some of you. But give me a better explanation. If you honestly think I'm a crackpot, if you honestly think this is just off the wall, that this is just nuts, this is just crazy, that there isn't some kind of conspiracy to kill a bunch of old people, as some of you will characterize it, with in your parodic way, well, then explain it to me. Tell me why this happened. Tell me how this could have happened without the people who did it, who took part in it, knowing full well what they were doing. And tell me why somebody like Governor Cuomo should not be held guilty, thrown in prison for the murder of I don't know how many people. Tell me why he should be spared that kind of judgment. Go ahead and tell me. I am all ears. Thanks for watching. Andy Nowicki, AltRightNovelist.com, lowstatusnovelist.blogspot.com.